Hey everyone, Andrea here, checking in for a quick little WIP Wednesday update. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you're working on for WIP Wednesday. Inspire me with all of your knitting and crochet and spinning projects. So I have a few different things to share with you this week, and we're going to start with this cardigan, which you've already seen. So this is my step-by-step cardigan, knit out of Schweitzer's Fiber Mill farm yarn, hand dyed by them. And the last time I showed this, there's a whole dedicated video to this finished object. I let you guys know that I didn't have buttons for this and they were on order, but they've since come in. Look how pretty these are. These are from Tinker's Hollow, and these are handmade buttons, and I don't even know anything about the process of making buttons out of wood, but these are beautiful. I chose to go with the hexagon shape and I'm pretty sure this is bird's eye maple wood, and it just adds a little bit of color and texture to the buttons and gives it the type of grain, and that wood variety really gives it a little bit of sheen too, which I think is really nice. So I think these are gonna look pretty good on this cardigan, and now I just need to sew them on, which honestly isn't my favorite thing to do, sewing on buttons, but I'll get these on there and then that project will be finally fully completed. So next up, I have some spinning. So over the weekend, I put a lot of time into this spinning project, and this fiber is Shaniko Silk Wool by Sunset Fiber Company, and I think the color's pretty accurate on the screen here. It's actually called a solar flare from them, and it's basically just one of a kind, not repeatable colorways. They call them solar flares, and this one just happened to be this light blush pink color. So my intention is for this to be a DK weight. Unfortunately, I think I may have gotten a little thin on my singles, so it may end up being more like a sport weight. We'll see once it's done. But these are ready to ply. They've been resting. And I do my singles Z, and I mark them on here because I will never remember that. And then these are going to get plied together as S, a 2-ply. And my intention is to also spin up another solar flare colorway that I have from Sunset Fiber Company, and then put these two together in maybe a cowl, maybe a scarf, something that requires high contrast 2 colors. So there's the spinning update. And lastly, the thing I've been talking about for several weeks now, the Jethro Cardigan. Where am I at on it? And right now I just picked up the button band, and I probably should have waited to do that until after I showed this on here, because now it's kind of all tangled up. But so here's where I am on the Jethro Cardigan. I've gotten all of my squares together. I mentioned in Sunday's regular sit-down podcast episode that I was doing a continuous join-as-you-go method. The video I followed is actually linked in Tanis's pattern. And by the way, this is Jethro Cardigan by Tanis Lavelli. Tanis links to the join techniques by Hooked by Robin in the pattern, and I just followed that. And I really like how this gray really sets off the pink, orange, and purple yarns. I think it turned out really pretty, and I'm very happy with it. So I've also completed the bottom hem ribbing. I chose to go with a 2x2. Tanis does give kind of directions for 1x1 or 2x2. I prefer a 2x2 at the bottom of the sweater, so I finished that piece. And then, like I mentioned, I just have picked up for the button band, and this is not a double knit button band like the step-by-step cardigan. This is a regular kind of ribbed button band, and then the holes are made, I think, by doing yarn overs. I don't know, I need to reread that section of the pattern when it comes time, but that is where I'm at. Now, here's the little issue that I ran into, and this seems to be a common theme in my life this year with my projects, which is yarn management. I read it in the pattern, but it did not register in my brain that the color you're using to do the joining, again, DK weight yarn, I used fingering weight held double for the squares, and then this is the DK weight that I dyed. I missed in the pattern that if you did this with separate colors, that yardage is not included in with the square yardage. So I only dyed 2 skeins of this, which if I'm obviously now going to be doing this whole button band, I've already done the hem, and then I still need to do 2 sleeves, this is all I have left. This isn't gonna work. It's not enough yarn. So last night, while watching Jeopardy, I decided to dye a couple more skeins of this. Now, here's the other issue. I did not write down what I did here. Like, I used to be an indie dyer. I used to sell my yarn, and when I did that, I would write everything down. I had everything documented, weighted, ounces, grams, the whole 9 yards. I was very sort of meticulous about taking notes, but because I was doing this for myself, I was like, I'll just wing it. I'm not writing this down. When am I going to need this again? Apparently quite soon. So I had to kind of guess at what I thought I did, and you can see there's a difference, right? Like, this is a little bit darker, and it's a little more I don't know, less solid. It's more kind of a semi-solid, whereas these are more solid than semi-solid, and they're also a tiny bit lighter. Now, is it the end of the world? No, it's not the end of the world. I will continue using the old gray skein, the darker one, again, for that button band across here. I'll continue using it for that, and then my sleeves will be this. So because both sleeves will match each other, I don't think it's a big deal that they don't perfectly match the pickup or the button band and hem. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. So I did mention that maybe I would have this cardigan done by Thanksgiving, and I got some feedback on that, and everybody was like, yeah, you can do it. You can get it done. I don't want to put the pressure on myself to do it, but also just life is lifing, and I don't know if I will be able to get that whole button band completed and 2 sleeves done, and Thanksgiving's next Thursday, so that's what, today, it's like 8 days from now. So we'll see. We will see how far I get. If nothing else, you'll be seeing this yet again on next week's WIP Wednesday episode, so make sure you're subscribed and like this video so that it can show up in your feed. So that's it for today. Just a quick little check-in for WIP Wednesday. Again, I've been really enjoying these, and hopefully you enjoy them too. So that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one, and in the meantime, happy making.